Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we have a slightly different start because in order to get to the ponies of the week we have to do some design and some 3D design. And I have some extra good news because JDiction, the company that created ResinCrete, which is the product we'll be using today, wants to gift 3 people some ResinCrete sets for the holidays. So let's get started with the project and I will tell you more about how you can participate when we start pouring. Let's go! Alright, so our project for the day is actually some holiday decorations and or cookie cutters. And of course, you know me by now, my favorite generation of My Little Pony is Generation 1. So I'm going to use these original drawings to recreate the shapes, which we are then going to 3D print, turn into molds and fill with ResinCrete, my new favorite product. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Adobe Illustrator to draw on top of the shape. You can use any other programs to do this. It's better if they are vector based because this will be important when we export the files. But the goal basically is to have the silhouette of whatever shape you want to then turn into a decoration. I also want to simplify some of these angles, but the changes will be minimal. And I want to make sure that there are no like spiky areas and instead everything is kind of rounded and nice. So once the proof of concept has been done for the first pony, we're going to do the silhouettes for the other 2. In this case I chose Applejack, Confetti and Twilight. No particular reason, I just like the colors and I wanted a little bit of variety. So I went for 3 slightly different versions of pony. They are not particularly Christmassy, even though they will go on my Christmas tree. But I want, well, I love the pastel colors and I want to actually be able to look at this all year round. So I thought maybe not use like the typical green and red and just go for something a little more demure. I don't know if that's a word. Feels like something I read somewhere. But anyway, in hindsight, I would have done this a little bit different. I would have done these lines much thicker so I can export them already with the actual shape that I want to print. But my 3D skills are very limited at the moment. I am learning and luckily I have a great partner who can help me when I get stuck. We'll see more about that soon. But for now, let's move on to Blender and get things ready to print. Alright, so we are back at the beginning. This is what it looks like once John actually turned my silhouettes into actual shapes. I will keep this section quite short because, as you will soon see, mistakes were made. So this is just attempt number 1 using standard resin. So we just prepare the supports and the raft, send it to print a couple of times because my printer was misaligned. These are the slices being generated. Always fun to watch for me. Here is one of the prints I did. This is what it looks like once the mold is finished. A bit skewed because, like I said, my printer was misaligned. My fault, I set it up incorrectly. So all we need to do now is separate it from the platform using this nice plastic tool. Then I put it into a bag with just alcohol and then I take it to the curing station. It stays here for some minutes and then it's ready to be worked on. Now, like I said, this first attempt wasn't particularly successful, so I'm going to show you a fast clip of everything I did that ended up in my idea not working, and then we're gonna go to the actual way to do things, the right way, and we are finally going to actually get started with a proper project of creating these decorations. Of course, because I was doing this on my own terms, which means I rushed through steps and skipped things and did everything without testing first. It was only after I had prepared the 3 different molds that I realized that the resin was too hard, the 3D resin, and because it was skewed, the poor ResinCrete was now trapped inside. And this is why my other projects are late. But if I have learned anything in the last years is that I have to strive for excellence. So we're going to start again. All that that time I spent failing at my first attempt actually taught me many lessons. And by first attempt, I mean 5 attempts. But anyway, 2 important things. One is that I shouldn't be using hard 3D resin. I should be using flexible one, like the molds I have. And lesson number 2, it's better if I add a base for the molds, because it was a bit difficult to keep the material from leaking out. Even though there was very little leakage, it was still a bit not perfect, and well, we don't want perfect, but we want good enough. So what I'm doing here is, on the one hand, I am adding this platform at the bottom of the mold, and on the other I'm also going to add a little pin that should create a hole so we can hang our decorations. And I did the same for our 2 other ponies. I brought them into the slicer and I gave them to my partner, who used his 3D printer and his industry knowledge to actually make this work. Which means that now we can actually get started for real. So here you can see the 3 molds we did for this round. We used a different material, it's transparent and it's awesome, very flexible, but it's not something I can print with my machine. But I'm hoping things will work differently this time and we will be able to remove the ResinCrete from the mold more easily. Just in case though, I am going to use some wax, and as you can see there is like a little texture on the mold. I think this happened while it was curing, but we're going to work on the decorations once they are done. We're going to sandpaper and file them and make sure they're super smooth. But now it's finally time to show the process of pouring the ResinCrete. Yeah! So look at the instructions again. We have a ratio of 100 to 30 or 10 to 3, and this needs to be done by weight. So I'm going to do 40 grams of ResinCrete and 12 grams of water. Grams of water sounds very strange. And to do the measurements, I'm just using a simple kitchen scale. It is important to make sure the proportions are correct. I did try to do this by eye in the beginning and it didn't work out. So we're gonna be very disciplined this time and from now on. And there we go, we have the 2 quantities, now it's time to mix them. So let me tell you about this amazing giveaway that ResinCrete has offered us. You can participate no matter where you are. There are 3 kits that will be given randomly to 3 winners, so 1 to each. And all you need to do to participate is follow JDiction's YouTube account and leave a comment in this video. Any comment. It could be your impressions about this project, or suggestions, or critiques, or holiday wishes. And we will announce the winners a few days after the video is released, I think. That way you can possibly get the kit before the holidays and you can make your own decorations. Alright, so back to the video, it's time to pour. As you might be able to tell, I was trying to go for an orange pastel tone. It looks more pink than orange, so we will see if we turn this into Applejack or something else. Some taps to make sure the material goes everywhere in the mold and there are no bubbles. And then all we need to do is wait 20-30 minutes and demold. And I have a special guest for this step, my dear boyfriend John, who offered his help because, I quote, "You can't be your bestial self when demolding these pieces." Those noises are me celebrating in the background. And here it is. The pony is ready. It does have some marks, but that's okay, we can sandpaper them. So now we'll do the other molds, and this time it's my turn to do it. You can guess how this goes probably. But at this point everything was fine. I hadn't broken anything yet, and I didn't think I would. So those were unfounded accusations. The previous one I used white, and for this one I'm going to use a little blue. I'm not sure why, because we're not following the drawings anymore, we are just improvising, but I thought this is such a lovely color and we can maybe do one of the more special ponies that I really like. I love the color blue. So he's making the other one. Jiggle jiggle, tap tap, and we wait. Okay, so our next almost final step is to sand the resulting ponies, and then we're going to paint them. Because the inside of the molds was not as soft as I was expecting, we're going to actually use the other face, which means that we have to take some of this material off, because there is always like an unevenness that comes from filling the molds. For the next iteration of this idea, because I'm going to do more of this, what I'm going to do is just mirror the mold, and hopefully the way I cure it will be a little different and we should end up with a very smooth surface. Another thing that I think will be a good idea is to add some, how to describe it, like an even angle, so it's not 90 degrees, but it's a little, like the part where you have to take the mold off is a bit bigger, and that should make it easier to demold. So if you are planning on doing this, now you have some extra tips to try. The last step is to get rid of some of the printing lines. This won't be very visible, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them, also because the angles are so difficult. And we have finally reached the last step, which is painting. Now, I thought this was going to be not an easy job, obviously, but a faster one probably, and I ended up spending, I don't know, from between 1 and 2 hours per decoration. But I'm not unhappy with the result. I don't have very much to say about this part, so I will leave you with some music, and I will see you when the results are ready.
This Christmas I've made my wish upon that star. The only dream of which my list consists is to always be wherever you are. This year there will be no praying for the snow to fall. It would not make a difference to me.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, if you want to participate in the giveaway, all you need to do is leave a comment here and follow the JDiction YouTube site. You can see the description for more information. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great week. Bye bye.
True.